Hey, so some of you that follow me on TikTok at Fetus Forge know that I am in a Last Blade Standing competition that is being put on by my Southern Knife Makers Guild that I'm a part of. And at no fault of my own, I was elected president of this guild, but I can by no means take any credit for the brilliance that has become of the Last Blade Standing competition. The crew over there at Martin Forged, Matthew Martin, has been killing the game, so much so I think he's being brought up on murder charges, a lot like Jimmy the Tulip Tedeschi. So he is murdering this thing. He is blowing this way up. He's got TV spots. He's got everything. But if you don't know what this is, the Last Blade Standing competition, or you can go to lastbladestanding.com, and what it is a competition of repurposed steel into a knife. So we have to make a knife out of some old stuff. So what I've got and what I'm doing is, this is some old Banzai blade and a leaf spring, and I have to turn this into a working knife. Not only working, but tough as hell. So I got a bunch of tests going on. Got to chop through some wood, got to slice through some paper, got to do a whole bunch of stuff, right? So I got to make one that's very good quality to get past the 39 other smiths that are in this competition to hopefully win. I got a tough road ahead of me. I'm up against MP Forge first, and then the second and third round hadn't been decided yet, but there are some good smiths on both sides of this bracket. So where I am so far, I've done a lot of work already. I've actually cut it, and you can check it out on my TikTok, or if you're here from TikTok, this is where I'm at now. The actual parameters is between 12 and 14 inches overall. This is about 12 inches to right here where my thumb's at to out here. So what I'm going to try to do today is squish this down that way and try to lengthen that out a little bit. I got plenty of material here. Got a long way to go, but it'll be all right, I think. I don't know. I also stumble on my words a lot, so you're right, fuck me. Alright, so we got the forge lit, got a little two burner propane forge right there. What I like to do, always put on your safety stuff. A lot of people make fun of me, oh, you're gonna do this, do that, you're wearing an apron, whatever. You have a 1,000-degree piece of metal jump up and land on your shoulder, you'll be putting some shit on too. So I'm gonna speed most of this up because I have an attention span of a garden fly. So I don't really want to watch all this shit, so I doubt y'all do either. So I'm going to speed it up. But what I'm going to do, let that forge get up to temp. Then we're going to throw this pretty decent hunk of metal in there and start whacking the shit out of it. I put that in there with the opposite of my glove hand. Doesn't make a lot of sense, right? So it takes a while to get that first heat up. You got to get that metal up around 1900, 2000 degrees. Get it up to a good working temp. But I kind of want to brag on my anvil. It is a church window anvil. Something, best I can figure, and there's probably some of you that's going to see this that can tell me wrong, between 200 and 300 years old. I love this friggin' thing. The return on it is awesome. The working surfaces are great. The edges are great. I'm super excited to be working with it. The pretty side of it's on my side, but I don't give a shit, you can't see it anyway. So probably going to be working with the 2 and the 4 pound hammers today. Got them in my holsters on the side. Where is my 2 pound? Here it is. Little rounding hammers that I dressed up myself. Little holsters for them. I really don't know who all's going to see this or who's going to care, but yeah. So what I'm really wanting to do is squeeze this down, because I don't need the blade to be that fat, and then work that back out to lengthen it. And you can work both sides. And you can use the edge of your anvil, this corner edge right here, this working edge. You can put your material on there, use your hammer to hit that, and it works as like a cross beam. Helps you move the material. So you'll see me tilt it up a little bit, work that edge as I'm drawing it back. What's that doing is squishing all the material out like a tube of toothpaste. It's kind of slow, but I like it. So what I like to do is work from the handle out. Make a good spot for my meat hook to grab a hold of it. And then I like to move that metal down the blade. And then I'll work on doing the tip after I'm done with that. Again, not that it matters, and everybody else has their own preferences and how they like to do it. I know a really good smith named Josh Howard over there at Deer Lick Ridge Forge. That guy does amazing work. If you don't know who he is, go check him out. But he works tips first and does his integral handles and tangs and everything last. So I just, for some reason, I've gotten accustomed to, and I like working the handle first and bringing that material out to the edge, and then refine that point for the tip, and then take it even further on the grinder to really clean that up. And as you start working the material, it'll start getting thinner. It'll take heat a lot faster and a lot better. So the forging part of it and the reheat and then the hammering, that starts going a lot quicker. Steps and time between the two start shortening, and you got to start moving a little faster. See, it hasn't been in there very long and it's already back up to temp. I'll try to work some of that metal down to the tip. And as I'm working one side, I try to flip it, work the other side too. That way you're getting tension and work on both sides of the material. That way my two outermost pieces of material don't get too flat and don't thin and fuck me when I go to grind, and my lines will look weird. So try to flop it back and forth, work on both sides, but I need to squish that down a little more to stretch it out some more. Got my tape measure here. See if I can get it. Well, that's not right, but try to get it out there around 14 inches. It's about there. So we'll see what happens. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to work the handle a little bit, see if I can't redefine where that thing's going to set. Use this working edge here and kind of flatten it out. measure it first. See where I'm at. It's getting pretty long. Yeah, it's up about 14 inches or so where I'm going to cut that handle out. As you can see, back of this handle right here is where all the forge welding happens. And I'll lose probably 2 inches right there getting into good material so I have a good solid handle. Try to stretch it out, flatten it out. That way when I go over to the grinder I don't have so much work to do. That's the plan anyway. I don't really know how it's going to go until I get after it. I do like to do, why do I keep saying that? Nobody gives a shit what I like to do. You're not really learning anything from me. I don't know. Maybe I feel some sort of jacked up ass obligation to teach while I'm doing this. Maybe it's because I'm a dad, I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I do recognize you don't care and you just want to see the stuff I make. So, thanks. Try to work his tip down a little bit, kind of define that rough shape. See what the metal will let me do. And as soon as I pull that out, a big ass drop of sweat right in my eye. Now I'm going to take my version of Miramore, Thor's hammer, flatten that fucker out as much as I possibly can. Oh, this is only a 10 pound. This little 10 pound sledge. It's got a pretty flat face on it. Lets me cover the whole material and get it all flat all the way across it. So I don't have to grind as much. I really don't like grinding. It's kind of time consuming and annoying. So here you go. What that does, just evens it out, gets all the, oh Jesus Christ, there's lunch, evens it out, gets all those little hammer marks out of there. On this particular one, I don't want it to have any forging marks. So now I'm going to take it out, and when it heats up, put it in a straightening jig, get it nice and straight, then show you what it is. So that, pretty straight. See the heat coming off of it still. But it looks good, where I can get to work with it on the grinder. So this thing is pretty angry, and I'm gonna let it cool off and I'll get back with you. All right, well, here it is. You can kind of see it starting to take shape. I think it's going to be pretty cool. Here's kind of the moment of truth. I left myself, you can tell how thick that is. I'm either going to take that out with the grinder, or I left myself a little bit extra in case I needed to stretch it. So now that I got my profile defined and I'm going to go into surface grinding and all that, I'm going to measure it. Make sure I don't fall outside of parameters. And right there, from tip to tip, just under 14. So I am under parameters. So I think I can go ahead and start hogging the sides of this beast. It's going to be a melee weapon for sure. Well, alright y'all. Thanks for watching. But it's about beer 30, so I think I'm going to make like a fetus and head out. So y'all be good now.